Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are about to break down the stats of the characters. This is going to include the attack, the health, the defense to figure out the strongest characters in the game. This is the updated version. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into it, guys. So what we got here is we're going to go through the tiers. That in this video, this is going off of our new stat sheet that has been updated and the accuracy has been improved. We have a whole video on that. We're not going to go too much over it. It'll be in the description, as well as at the end of this video. We'll throw it up on screen, so that way if you guys choose to see what the mathematics are behind this and how to see all the characters' numbers, then you could go check out that document and check out that video. So, but in this video, we're going to have it in picture form, so that way we can all see it nice and pretty. And let's get into it. So, I mean, I don't think these characters surprise anyone. Remember, this tier list doesn't have anything to do with skills or supers or anything like that. So this is literally just raw stats: health, defense, and attack, all combined into one for an overall stat to see how effective these characters are. This is really going to help you out too, by the way, because if you're trying to play single battles, you probably already know, like, oh, well, I like these skills or these supers. Okay, we have a document for that as well. But you know most of the characters with the supers and the skills, and you know which ones you like and which ones you don't. You know what's broken, what's not, right? But this video right here is going to allow you to understand where on the stat tree does the characters that you like compare to the others, because stats absolutely matter. Your defense matters, your health matters, your offense matters. All this is comparable to other characters. So that being said, I mean, Bavati and Chaozu are just abysmal. They are just terrible for stat wise. I mean, Satan, we're just not. We're just skipping over Satan because he's useless. Like, he's literally a DP extra character. That is it. That is the only thing. That is the only thing he's good for, pretty much. If you're playing singles and you're playing Mr. Satan, I mean, best of luck to you. To be honest, there's not much else to say. Like, he was just absolutely terrible. Yajirobe got that hit, and by the way, this is post update, guys. Like, this stat sheet is post update, so I think Yajirobe went down a bit because he lost some health. He went from 3 bars of health to 2.5 bars. That being said, I think the last stat sheet did it rounded all the numbers. So, that being said, this sheet is accurate for the health bars of Yajirobe, and it seems like he went down a bit. He still has a Sensu Bean, however, what is he? He's a DP2. That means his skill. I want to go into that, but anyways, it essentially takes him 2 times longer to go into to get his Sensu Bean now. So instead of he needed to get 3, now he needs to get 6. So it's the double of the Sensu Bean. So that was a huge nerf. We do have After Image Strike on Krillin. I think I think it's Team Goku that has it. Maybe I'm not sure. I know Pan has it. So that's all good and stuff there. Let's go to the next one. So we have low tiers next. Okay, well, they really did Vegeta a disservice. And Dispo, too. You would think Dispo would be higher. He's in Dragon Ball Super in the Tournament of Power. And, I mean, even though Kakunza and Rosie wasn't, like, crazy, but, like, I don't know. I feel like they should be above Yamcha. I don't know why Yamcha is so strong. Like, I feel like he should have been on a tier lower. And, yeah, and 17 and 18, like, I don't know. I feel like these characters, like, I really like 17. I don't know about you guys. I really like 17. And another character I really like? I really like Tapion. And I wish he was higher on this list, because if I had to choose, like, 2 of my favorite characters on this list, it'd probably be 17 and Tapion. But I still think Vegeta base form being this low on the list is just absolutely crazy to me. And this is just, it's not an opinion based list, guys. This is just how it is. Like, these are the stats. I mean, this is just raw data numbers. And now we have got it extremely accurate now. But let's keep moving on. There's a lot of characters to go through. If y'all have any questions or concerns, please leave it in the comments below. Let's see. Next one we have below average. Okay, so now we're getting into the Great Saiyaman and stuff like that. I mean, Captain Ginyu, that's probably where he deserves to be, but I really think he's top tier for DP battles just for the fact that like he's not a bad character to use. He has an instant sparking and his ultimate's unblockable and you can steal their body. So it's you could if they have like a ridiculously like imagine them having a 10 DP character and then you just you swap it because you just go instant sparking and spam key blast with the ulti and then since they can't it's unblockable, so it just goes right through their guard. Like that would be terrible to lose your 10 DP to a 4 DP, and on top of that, you're giving them your character and your health too. So I don't know. So Dragon Ball Super Android 17. I yet again like I like 17. Why is he so low? I really think he should be up higher. Like I don't think base form Goku and Dragon Ball Super could beat Android 17 from Dragon Ball Super. So just like from a personal standpoint, I think this is just completely ridiculous. Yeah, at least like I think he would at least be like Super Saiyan 3 level or something like that. Raditz, the thing about Raditz is like I really like Raditz in this game. But like for some reason they made him really good to fight with. Same thing with Yamcha, by the way. I kind of breezed over Yamcha, but the same thing there. Like these characters like have great rush chains. They have great skills as well. Like they're just phenomenal characters. And so another thing that I learned about Dr. Gero, I'm just rambling on, I guess, but like this is some just interesting. We've been breaking down the game so much lately that like we've just been learning new stuff. And for example, Gero and Android 19, they don't get key over time like auto key from the rest of the androids. Like so Gero and 19 don't get that. They have to specifically absorb beams and key blasts by using perception to absorb them to get their key back, or they could do the punches where if they punch they get 2 times the amount of key per punch than any other character. So like that's just an interesting like thing to know about Gero and Android 19. They're different from all the other characters. Let's go to the next one. Average. Okay, so now here's the interesting thing about this exact part of the tier list. Average, right? So all these characters are the exact, and I mean the exact same stats, like the same. They're just exactly the same. So there's no specific order on this tier list for average. This is just all zeroed out because all of our stats come from Dragon Ball Super base form Goku. So therefore, all these characters have the exact same health, the exact same defense, the exact same offense as base form Goku. So that's just something to note here. Which is really surprising with like Bergamo, and honestly I think Khalifa and Kale should be like under, and Kaba especially like should be under Goku, like for base form Goku. It's just something, and same thing with like Cell. I just think it's crazy that Dragon Ball Super, and I know like they copy and pasted to make it easier on them, but it's like there's no way base form Goku from like the Cell Saga is going to beat base form Goku from Dragon Ball Super in my eyes. Like, so you're saying he didn't train at all or get better at all? I don't know. Like, to me, it's just crazy. So, anyways, and same thing with the Frieza Super being this low. Like, I mean, it is what it is. I wasn't in charge of balancing the game or making it realistic, but I mean, I think there was a huge injustice to some of these characters. Next tier, above average, right? First off, I mean, so Daima Goku is like barely in this tier. His stats are ever so slightly above Goku's. It seems like same thing with Spopovich and everybody below him. I mean, like these are just slight increases, I would say, over Goku for the most part. Until you get to like second form Frieza, I was actually really amazed. Like second form Frieza is pretty good, like stat wise. Like he's pretty good. He's the strongest Frieza in the game besides Golden. I think Golden, and then it goes second form. Why? I have no idea. But I mean, that's how they wanted to do it. Another thing, see, like this is another thing. Like, what is going on? Like, why is Super Saiyan God Vegeta? Why is he there? Like, what? Like, what is going on? Who did this? And Spopovich is stronger than Baby Vegeta? Like, what? Like, what? So I don't know. Hey, I mean, I didn't make this, guys. So I'm just observing. That's all I'm doing here. So high tier, we got high tier here. I mean, Super Saiyan 4 makes sense. It's stronger than 3, stronger than 2. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Super Saiyan 2 Goku is weaker than Super Saiyan 1 from Dragon Ball Super. I guess that could be possible if Goku was stronger in Dragon Ball Super than he is in the end. Boo Tanks being there, that makes sense. Kid Boo being there, that makes. I mean, Buhan should be above. I say that makes sense, but he's like behind Cell, which is stupid. And Super Garlic Jr.'s in here, so you gotta. So, I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So like, I say it makes sense, but take that with a grain of salt, you know, because yeah. So this is just observing, guys. Like I said, these are the stats of the characters. Super Trunks is up here. He's stronger than Super Saiyan 3. I feel like if Super Saiyan 3 fought Perfect Cell, he would beat the crap out of him, and Super Trunks lost. So I mean, I don't know. Like that's just, and then we got Fat Boo in here because Fat Boo is as strong as a god. You know, like that's that's so funny. Something that I would really like to point out here, though, guys, like Recoome being up this high. So Recoome is in the top tier, right? Recoome's in the top tier, and if you think about it, and so is Nappa, but they're 3 DP. They're 3 DP, and this is a stat sheet regardless of DP. This doesn't even have anything to do with DP, but they're so low DP to be this high on the list. Like we only have one more tier. This is 7 out of 8, right? Like they are literally at the top. So we're talking like out of all the 182 characters, they are in the top 30 of all characters in the game, just stat wise, and they're 3 DP. That's just something to know. And Recoome has really good supers too, so it's like his supers are good, his moveset's good, and he's a 3 DP, and he's this high up on the stat sheet. So that right there is just an observation where we can transfer this stat sheet over to DP battles. Other than that, I mean, I'm not too amazed by anything. Melee Trunks being up above UI Goku, that's crazy. Cooler being up there too, like that's. I mean, I ain't gonna lie though, Melee Trunks Super Saiyan is actually pretty good. Like, I like his stats and everything that he has. It's pretty good. And then we see Kefla and everything up here. We do see a few changes from the last list. So here we go. We did add the Giants in for you guys. So this is the broken tier. We did add in the Giants. So the weaker Giants like Rudigarn and Wheelo are below Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but all the other Giants are above. So this is where all the Giants will be. We had a lot of people want to know where their placement was. This is the exact order with their exact stats. So that way you know where the Giants go. But if we disclude the Giants, there was some changes here because, for example, Toppo was not that high up. Also, Super Vegito moved up too, because if we disregard the Giants, Super Vegito, I think he's in 12th place, so he's the 12th strongest character. Broly had to move down. Now, the reason Broly moved down was because, yes, his stats are the same. However, his health was, half a health bar instead of that last full bar, but we averaged to full bars whenever we made the last stat sheet. And then we also made different formula to get our end result number that is so accurate. And we have a video on how to get those numbers and how accurate they are. I think when you compare with our stats, you could take two characters, like let's say that, for example, in our video, we took Beerus and then we had hits damage applied to Beerus, and it was within 4 points of the game. So the game was like 2,797 after all the math, and then after we did our calculation with our stat sheet, it was 2,801. So there was 4-digit difference, and that's mainly because of decimals. So we average all of our stuff to a whole number, whereas there's like a whole long string of decimals. But whenever you add the decimals, it's even closer to being exactly right. We do think there's stuff like combo modifiers and stuff like that. So what we're doing right now is we have a few people in the Discord that are looking into the code of the game. And yeah, so whenever we go over the code of the game, we're hoping to find even more information and get you guys even more accurate. But I mean, right now, like, if you think like, even if we do plus or minus 4 damage, like, you're talking 4 damage. So I mean, you might as well say a tolerance of 8 total, plus or minus 4. That is so good for because we're talking about damage scales between 0 and 4,000. So it's like if you're plus or minus 4 out of 4,000, that's extremely accurate. That's like 1/1000th off. Like that's very, very accurate. So I'm very confident in this list, and I'm very confident in the new ways that we're doing the stat sheets. We have so much more to come in for you guys. We're breaking down the game every single day. We just figured out how the Ki Blast and the offense co-align with each other, and we're about to break that down in a very soon future video, so that way you guys can see, especially whenever it pertains, like, your attack stat and your Ki Blast are directly correlated, but the problem is when like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta isn't quite there, and the giants aren't quite there as well. So like that's where the discrepancies start happening, and whenever you start having those discrepancies, you have to understand why. And we figured out that, okay, well, giants is on a completely separate multiplier, and we're just analyzing the game codes to where we can understand it. And then whenever we figure it out, we try to really simplify it as absolutely much as we can, so we can give it to you guys, so that way we don't have to all be rocket scientists in order to be able to make sense of the game. Another thing is we're trying to make a program right now where you could just click on 2 characters. Like, let's say, for example, like we said, Beerus and Hit. And whenever you click on it, we'll say like Hit does this much damage to Beerus, Beerus does this much damage to Hit. So that way you can compare by just clicking on the names. So that way you don't have to do any math, right? Because we don't really want you to have to like do math in order to fill it. I'd really much rather you just scroll down, click on a character, and then scroll down, click on a character, and then it will tell you what these 2 numbers are for the characters. This character attacks this, it does this. This character attacks that, it does that. So we're working on that. And we also want to build like a team builder for stats. So like if you wanted to have a DP team, for stats, but we need to figure out an accurate way to transfer like supers and skills into numbers, so that way we can figure out how good the characters are, including their super skills and ultimates. So that's going to be down the road in the future, but that is something that we're working on. So that way, if you guys wanted to figure out how to build the best team possible in DP battle, the stuff that I've learned recently for DP battles is it did change some stuff. So what we'll probably do is make another video on DP battles. And because it changed a little bit. It's practically the same. So if you did watch the video, you didn't waste your time. It's practically the same. Just so you know, like for the people, I know that in the comments they were like, the game is about health, not about character count, and they were trying to prove me wrong on that. We have completely debunked that. It is absolutely 100% without a doubt with character count. If you just, as long as you're not getting perfected, so for example, if you land one ki blast on your opponent, then if you have more characters, you win. So if you deal more damage, but you still have less characters than they do, you still lose. So like the only thing that matters is character count. Literally, it's the only metric that matters at the end of the game. How many characters you have, how many characters they have, is the only metric. Completely debunked. Yeah, anyways, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see you guys in the next one, but click here if you want to see the stat breakdown. So later, guys.